Now, you know how guys online like to be real tough and make fun of these subcompact tractors and call them lawnmowers? Man, Kubota didn't do themselves any favors by putting these R4s on here, because they actually have a picture of a straight up riding lawnmower on the tie. But we've gone and fixed that. Hey there, hobby homesteaders, welcome back to Peaks Peak. Today I am up at the pond with the Kubota BX23S and 2 sets of tires, because we're gonna have some fun. Now, several weeks ago I had my tractor over at Davis Equipment and they hooked me up with a set of R14s, which I've been wanting for a while. And so I've been trying to run those for a few weeks and get an idea of what they're like and what I think about them, so that I can do a comparison and talk about the R4s, because I ran these on my tractor for 3 years. I never was thrilled with them. I had several complaints about them, and so we're gonna talk about that today. Now, I'll tell you right out of the gate, the R4s, one of my biggest complaints is that they're only 4-ply tires. I've already replaced 2 front tires where I've cut the sidewalls just doing work, and you have to run extra pressure in them so they can handle the weight that you put on them with the front end loader. And actually, even at that, my sidewalls are starting to get kind of wonky on these old R4s from that. I never was thrilled about the fact that they were 4-ply tires. Another difference that I've noticed is that the R14s kind of have a rounded profile. And I wasn't really sure how that would work out. You think about contact patch and all of that. I thought, well, maybe it will hurt the traction on the R14s. I don't know, because the industrial tire has more of a flat profile. But I will tell you, the way the bars are made on the R4s, they don't clear out mud. So it seems like as soon as you get in mud and you get those bars filled up, then you're stuck. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the R14s handle that type of situation. The very first thing that I noticed that I love about the R14s, that I did not love about the R4s, is they ride smoother. Now, I know it's a tractor, and I know that shouldn't matter a whole lot, but man, sometimes the Kubota will beat you to death. And I think it was the tires, because I used to think I never get to use high range anywhere except pavement. Because if you try to go very fast with these R4s, it just rattles you and beats you and rattles the tractor, and I thought it was too hard on everything, so I never used high range. But when I got the R14s on there, immediately I could tell it was smoother. And I actually drove down my main trail in high gear, running pretty quickly, and had no issues, because it doesn't bounce and rattle the way that it did with the R4s. So I'm already thrilled about that. Now, just for fun, I set up a test today so that I can determine how much traction or how much pull I can get with the R14s versus the R4s. Now, I'll tell you, my R4s are older tires, so they don't have the sharp edges that the brand new R14s have. So this is not necessarily a scientifically fair test, but I thought it might be something fun and interesting to see. So we've got a crane scale chained to a tree, and we're gonna pull on that and see how much weight that we can pull without using the diff lock. We'll just put her in 4-wheel drive and let her eat until she spins, and we'll see what that registers, and then we're gonna change the tires, put on the R4s, and do the same thing. See what we come up with.
Yeah.
So we tried several different hookups to try to get better traction and just try different things. And we finally got really good traction, but trying to manage all the different variables, we didn't get a camera shot of the scale. But you can hear Caden said on this one, when we got perfect traction, we got 2,135 pounds. Stay tuned, because at the end of the test, we even beat that. 60. All right, this is kind of fun. Now, I will tell you, with this dirt, it seems like there was one time where I got full traction. I could just about pull the motor down on the tractor, getting traction. And on that pull, we pulled over 2,000 pounds. What was it?
Like 21.
Yeah.
Like 2,100?
Over 2,100 pounds. So this is not going to be just an accurate representation of every situation you could have, because obviously different soils, different, you know, everything can change. But in this situation, the R14s I think did pretty well. And even at the end, when we had the tires kind of packing in with mud and we were pulling in the same spot, we were still consistently pulling 1,500 pounds with our pulls.
It was like 1,450.
Yeah, so I feel like swapping to the R4s will get an accurate representation of how they do, because it's not like we've just destroyed the ground and it won't work anymore. So now we're going to switch some tires, and then we're going to try it with the R4s and just see what we get. I kind of expected a closer race, really.
Hold on. Which tires are these? The one that
These are the old ones.
Huh?
These are the old ones.
Oh, so the new ones are better.
All right, guys. So we're comparing 3-year-old R4s to brand new R14s. So it's not like it's necessarily a fair comparison to say that the R14s have much better traction than the R4s, because if these were brand new R4s, they probably would perform better with sharp edges and all of that. So I understand that, but I will say that on average, we were able to pull substantially more traction out of the R14s than we could the R4s. We actually were able to get in and get dug in and get some traction to pull the motor down real good with the R14s. And we saw 2,100 pounds of pull versus a maximum of 1,580 pounds of pull with the R4s. Now, we kind of settled in pulling 1,300 pounds or so with the R4s. We tried several different spots, moving the tractor around, pulling it out into fresh mud and all that. And the 1,580 was the best we got with the R4s, and 2,100 pounds was the best we got with the R14s. So that's encouraging, because that's enough to say that traction-wise, I think the R14s probably are every bit as good, if not better. We decided to throw all the weight on the front of the tractor and see what kind of traction we could get out of these R14s like that. 2,300. Do it again. Ready?
Yes. We got 22 that time.
My scale's rated for 2,000 pounds, and I saw full flash on the screen. What do we get?
We got 22.
You You said 23.
23 and 22, I'm pretty sure.
We got 2300. That's awesome.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. I think you couldn't handle any more traction than that because it just about killed the engine.
Yeah.
That says all I need to know. Now, I will tell you, there have been times when I've been able to do that with the R4s when the dirt is perfect, but not very many. And it was pretty easy to do it with these R14s, I feel like. So, which tires do you think are better?
These.
The R14s? Yeah. They're pretty cool. I'm excited to have them, that's for sure. Well, that was a lot of fun. I don't know, it's just kind of neat to see some numbers behind what you're doing. And 2,300 pounds is a lot of pull. I'll also remind you that was with no diff lock, just 4-wheel drive.
A big round of applause for Caden for being a great assistant in today's video.
All right, now on to the grass portion of our test. And I've been mowing for 3 years with the R4, so I kind of know what they're like and what they do to the grass. So we got a real soggy day in the grass today, so it'll be a good test for these R14s. And it is our first mow of the season. So let's get to work. So the definite pluses of the R14s are the fact that they are easier on the grass than the R4s. That's pretty definitive. I chose a really, really wet, muddy day to try them out for that very reason. I wanted to see how they did with the mud and in comparison to the R4s. The second great benefit of the R14s is the fact that they just hold better on the grass on slopes. There was no question that the tractor was more stable on the slope rolling sideways than it was with the R4s. I have slid sideways down these slopes with the R4s, but it was stuck. Even on this slick, muddy slope, they were just dug in. And that made it much easier to mow those slopes. The next major benefit of the R14s is the fact that they're 6-ply tires. So they're going to hold up much better. And I'll tell you the thing that I am most excited about on these R14s is the fact that they just ride better. I don't know if it's the shape of the tire, the rubber that Goodyear uses. I don't know what it is that makes them ride much smoother than the R4s, but they just do. So for that reason alone, I would upgrade to these R14s. But all of the other things considered, definitely the move to make, switch to the R14s. The other thing that I'm kind of surprised about really is I kind of expected maybe to give up a little bit of traction in order for them to be easier on the grass and that sort of thing. But we didn't give up any traction at all. These things dug in so well that I could have stalled the engine if I wanted to. That means you're getting all the traction you can get, all the power out of the tractor that you can get, and I never even touched the diff lock. So, having just gone through what I did with the diff lock and exploding those pins inside my transmission case, I really don't want to use it unless I have to. And I think that these are going to offset what I'm giving up by not using that diff lock. They're just that much better, in my opinion. Now, these are just a few simple little tests that we did just to kind of try to get an idea of how they compared. And I don't have 3 years on these like I did the R4s, but I can tell that I'm going to be happy with them. So I'll keep you posted on how they perform in different situations because as always, I'm gonna be sharing all the projects we do with this Kubota BX. So if you're not already a follower, be sure and subscribe to our channel or hit that like button and follow us if you're on Facebook. And if you're in the market for a set of R14s and you're in the Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia tri-state area, be sure and visit Davis Equipment on Greenup Avenue in Ashland. They'll take good care of you. Well, me and Caden had a good time up here playing with the tractor. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and we appreciate y'all watching. Y'all have a good day.